Hello!
Hey guys! So today we're doing our Q&A and I have Mr. Jesse here. It's his weekend, so I was able to make him get out of bed and do it with me.
Because why let your husband rest?
So we had a bunch of questions asked to us through Instagram and Facebook. Thank you so much for everyone who asked. If you don't already, follow us. All of our all of our social links are down below. Let's get started.
What has been the best part about being married?
I think for me the best part is just having like you there. Like knowing that when I wake up and when I go to bed, like this cute man is right next to me, and like, I don't know, just like throughout the day knowing that even on like the worst days when I'm watching a rom-com and I feel all sad and lonely, I don't have to feel sad and lonely because I have a cute man that's really attractive next to me at all times, or you know, at work, but emotionally it's right here.
For me, the best part about being married, I would say, is you have like a sense of like, kind of like she said, you always have someone there. Like, it's not like having a crush on someone who are like, oh, I wonder if they like me back, or you're dating someone and like, oh, what if things don't go well and like they break up with me. It's like, we're married, we made it, we are in the promised land of relationships, and I know she's always going to be there for me, and that's really nice. Next question. All right, what has been the hardest part so far about being married?
I think like finances. Just because before we got married, this will come into a couple different questions. I think we are like mentally ready to be married. Like I think we knew each other well enough and we were good. But financially, we probably should have waited a few months because I had a really poppin' job and I made really good money there. And I just wasn't like the best with my money because I had never really been taught how to deal with money. You know, I never took personal finance. I had to take like the harder math classes, and my parents have always raised me to believe to be well with my money, but also I'm a very like giving person. Like I always want to take care of my friends, and like I always loved spoiling Jesse, and so I just wasn't always like the most on top of saving my money. So when we got married, we had money, we just didn't have a lot of it saved. So now that like our car is broken, I'm using my dad's, which thank you, Dad, much appreciated. And like there's a lot of like financial things that we didn't think about before that have kind of made it a little stressful, but overall like still good. Just have money before you get married, or like keep having that job because we both are leaving our good paying jobs.
Great. And for me, hardest part about being married, I would say like you don't think of like little things. Like you don't realize how many dishes and clothing like two people can go through like in a day, let alone a week. And because now we are like these sole people of this household, it's not like you can just leave a mess on the floor and someone's cleaning up. It's like, oh, now it's our problem. So it's suddenly like being married, at least for us, because we got moved in right as soon as we got married. We both lived at home previously. It was like the two of us were suddenly like the caretakers of the house. That's it. So we both kind of had to like jump into responsibility, and there's like of course been like spats here and there about it, because like, oh, you left your clothes on the floor, well, you didn't do the dishes, and it's like you don't think about little things like that. And like it is hard. Like it sounds kind of petty, but like, you know, if someone doesn't like do the dishes for like 3 days, like it can be very frustrating.
Yeah,
and like
if you
vice
come
versa.
Home, if you come home from like a long day of work and like the other person's at home and you're like, why is the room still a mess? Like I just assumed that you being home all day, you'd clean it, and then you're like, oh, I guess like I could have done that instead of watching TV. It's the small things. And like
we're good. Like everyone has like little fights like that, but at the same time, you don't think. That's for the next video. But you don't think about it, you know? Like it does add up, and you have to like work through it and talk about it. But like I think that was a difficult hurdle to overcome for us a little bit.
Because we're both lazy.
What advice would you give to those about to get married? Well,
save money, have like, because like he said, I don't know if I necessarily needed to rush my wedding, but for me, I didn't feel comfortable because I was transitioning from an assistant store manager to a store manager, and I didn't want to become a store manager and then be gone for a honeymoon and then come back. I just wanted to get it done with before I went to my new store. So I, like he said, we didn't save up a whole bunch of money. It was like we got engaged in like the end of July and we got married the end of September. So it was a very quick process. We didn't have a whole bunch of money saved up. Thank you, Mom and Dad, so much for helping. Like, honestly, shout out to them.
Sponsored.
And sponsored by Mom and Dad. But yeah, I think that was like the number one thing, is just make sure that you guys sit down and have like a very honest talk about finances. Because honestly, finances isn't something that we've ever like argued about, but it does like kind of stress us out, because we haven't, until like maybe like a week or two ago, we haven't really sat down and talked about like, okay, this is how much we're spending. This is how much like I'm allowed to spend, especially me, because I made quite a lot of money, so I spent quite a lot of money. And now, even though I don't have a job now, I still have like those tendencies to go spend a lot of money. And so it's just like making sure that we are good and like understand like where we are with finances.
Yeah, I would say finances is definitely the biggest part about that for being married, because I loved our wedding. It was like small, it was simple, and that's like what I wanted. But there are some things that she wanted to do that we didn't get to do because like we didn't have enough time to plan it. We didn't like have enough like of a budget to like do all those things. And like we still got married. It's lovely. Like love being married, but it would have been nicer if we could have like done everything that like you ever wanted. Like, you know, it's your wedding, it's your dream night, and you want it to go as well as you can. So make sure you plan it out well. Give yourself plenty of time to like plan it. Like, you guys are engaged. Like, there's no point in like, you don't need to rush it. Like, we had to, like, or it would have taken forever. And like, in theory, we could have taken forever, but I'm glad we are where we are now. So, if like it's your dream night, give yourself some time to plan it. Set aside a good budget for it, and make sure you got everything underway so you can have the night of your life. Why did we get a cat instead of a dog?
I'll answer this. Well, I'll start it. So,
jeez, okay.
I really want a dog. So, okay, I'll backtrack a little bit. Me and Jesse both grew up in houses where we had pets. I have always had cats and dogs and hamsters and all of the, like, you know, little brothers, all the pets, all the animals running around my house. So when we moved into our apartment, and we have our 2 pet rats, but we don't have like a little companion, and our house felt so like empty. Like, I don't know, it's kind of, unless you have pets and you've grown up with pets, it's kind of hard to explain. But it just didn't really, it felt like a house, not a home.
It's like real depressing when you grow up with animals your entire life and then there's just like
there's nothing
Again,
there.
Jojo and Pepper, praise be them. They're beautiful and
Good
we love
boys.
them. But like, you know, they're not running around. They're not like sitting on the couch with us. Like,
yeah, we can't take them on walks. We can't like, I don't know. So it was different. So
it's
we
a different kind of pet, like a
Yeah.
cage pet and like a free roam pet.
So we went to go look at dogs, because I really want like a small fluffy dog, like a Shih Tzu, a Pomeranian, like all those expensive dogs. I want one. And that became the problem, is 1, there aren't really a lot of breeders for those kind of animals where we live, and then 2, the breeders we do have are like really expensive, and then 3, I really do believe in trying to go to shelters and foster cares first, and there just weren't really any pets that we really wanted, and the ones we did want, they didn't give to people in apartments, which I think is dumb, but anyway, we won't get into that.
There's
but
like 6 dogs we tried to get, and they're like, nope, no apartments, it's a backyard. It's like, you literally made us check, never let it outside, pretty much.
Yeah, so it's been pretty frustrating, but then when we were looking through a page, I'll let you finish when we found him, so.
Alright, so we were looking through a page on the website, and we saw Maui, because we were looking through the cats for funsies, and...
Because I'd given up hope of getting a dog at this point. I just wanted a pet.
He was such a beautiful boy. He looked like he was made of butter. So we're like, you know what? Let's go see him at least. You know, we'll like put like when we went there, we're like, hey, we want to see like Maui as well as the other cats. So we went in the room. We met Maui, and he was just the perfectest little boy, the goodest boy. He was like, he's so sweet, so soft, so nice, and
He's so soft.
He's so incredibly
So
soft. And we were like talking to them. We're like, you know, out of curiosity, like, how much is he? He was like $175. I'm like, honestly, we've been looking at like couple hundred, like $1,000 dogs. Like $175 sounded like swell to us, and I was like, you know what? I like him. Can we get him? And she said sure.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, it's Maui. He's sleeping off camera right now. You can't see him, but we can see him.
He's a good boy, and we love him. And like I love cats, so I'm not mad that we have cats. But I genuinely like once we do get a house, like we will have fluffy dogs. Okay, just wait for that. Like, I don't care what he thinks. I really don't at this point. I just really want.
Because yeah, disclaimer: I did not want a dog at this light.
No.
Like, love dogs, good boys. I don't want one. Like, I don't know. To me, they're loud. They never stop barking. You have to like take them outside to go to the bathroom. It just sounds like a lot of work. Like again, love dogs, good boys, many pets. Like
he just didn't
10
really
out of
have
10.
a whole bunch when he grew up.
Yeah,
so
I grew up with
used to it.
I grew up with cats. I had one dog growing up, and I loved her. and she was great, but like it was mostly cats. I'm definitely a cat person, but I love dogs too. I don't think you have to be on one side or the other. Are either of you going to school? If not, what are your plans?
Neither of us are in school right now, but I'm going to start school this next fall at our community college near us, I'm pretty sure. And I'm not sure what I'm going to school for yet, because I originally wanted to go for composition of music, to write Broadway music, and then I'm now thinking of doing it for like editing videos and going into like that field. But I'm also still trying to get a full-time job right now, but that's all like up in the air. What are you doing, Boom?
Alright, I'm not personally planning on going back to school because school was rough for me the first time around. Like, school didn't work for me. Like, I passed and everything, and I did well enough, and like, set up around, I guess. Like, I don't know, I wasn't like failing or anything. I had like B's and A's and such, but like, I just did not enjoy school in the slightest. I hated like the feeling of being a student, and the thought of paying several thousands of dollars to do it all again just sounds abysmal to me. So, I'm working right now and kind of just trying to like work my way up from like entry-level positions and such. So yeah, I'm just working my way up through the working world. We're seeing that. I mean, obviously, worst case scenario, if like I have to go to school one day, I will. Although I'd probably go to like a trade school or something at that point, because I still don't want to like enroll in general college. Basically, as long as I don't have to take another math class, it's fine, because math and me are not friends. Are you guys glad you live in an apartment, or do you still want a house? So, personally, we wanted a house at first, and we had like a house lined up through her brother, but things kind of like fell through with that. The house ended up not being ready in time because of a bunch of other reasons. So we ended up having to give him an apartment. And
best thing ever.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, when we came here, we didn't have a lot of furniture, because like I barely owned any furniture in my house. I literally like had like probably 2 boxes worth of stuff. I didn't like live in squalor. I just like didn't have a lot of stuff. And so yeah, I had like 2 boxes. We basically had whatever was in her bedroom, and that was everything, which was a lot. Granted,
I have a lot of stuff.
I don't know why she has this much stuff.
And I don't know how it fit in my bedroom, because we brought it into the house and it was everywhere. And I was like, how did this fit in that tiny bed? I don't know.
But yeah, like basically the apartment, it's pretty small, but it works very well for like 2 people. Like, I think it's the perfect size for us right now. It doesn't have any like proper storage. Like, our pantry over there is basically half pantry, half closet, because we have a bedroom closet, but it's like not a ton of room. And then we have like an outdoor thing where our washer and dryer is.
It's like all our storage.
Yeah, so that's basically it. But like, everything's filled now, but like at the beginning of when we first moved in, we like barely had anything in the apartment. It was basically empty. So if this is a tiny apartment. If we had gotten a big, like a decent sized house, because the house we were looking into was like 2 bedrooms and like pretty dang big for 2 people, like no kids or animals or anything. Like, we would have just been paying for a lot of empty space that we didn't need. So I think the apartment was definitely a good first step into living on our own as well, because this is the first time either of us lived on our own. So if something goes wrong, you know, the shower like doesn't work or the sink gets backed up, we can call maintenance. Whereas if we were in a house, it'd be like, too bad, you're on your own. So I think being in an apartment, you should always start in an apartment, like my personal belief, because it gives you like the training you need to actually move on to a house later. Because we definitely still plan on a house, but I think an apartment was a very good first step that was needed a lot.
Yeah, and then also back onto finances. When we were first getting married, like I said, I was a store manager. And I loved my job, but at one point I realized that I couldn't balance the job and Jesse, and I chose, obviously, Jesse over the job. And so that was the main portion.
Worst mistake ever.
That was the main portion of our income. So then Jesse got a job that paid pretty equivalently to what I was making, but then I wasn't working anymore. So it just, finances have been really up and around, so I'm glad that we live somewhere where we have been able to pay every month, whereas if we lived in the house, we might not have been able to. And then also, like for me, I have really bad anxiety, and I've had that since I was a very little kid. And being here has really helped me, like, being okay with, I know it sounds crazy, but I've had a really hard time taking showers by myself. Like, I would always wait till someone else is home, because I'm scared that, like, someone's gonna come in and murder me. And I've gotten to the point where I can, like, take showers when he's not home, and I can, like, do things by myself that I haven't been able to do before. And I think if we went straight to a house, it would have been a lot harder to do that.
question. When are you guys planning on having kids? So, it all circles back down to finances. We definitely want to have like a lot of money in savings. So like having a child is a very expensive thing. You know, like things can go wrong, like an unplanned C-section, or like anything during like the actual process of birth. That's not even like including like the cost of just having the child in general, like buying clothes, buying like bedding, like baby proofing a house, buying baby food, formula, diapers, etc., etc., etc. You like want to have like a good financial like foundation to like have this kid. You don't want to like have the kid and realize you have nothing saved up and suddenly like all of your money's gone and you're like raising a kid like paycheck to paycheck. And also as well, personally for me, I wanted to wait a little bit longer to have kids because like definitely want to have kids. Love the idea of having kids, but I don't feel like ready quite yet to be a parent. Like I just turned 20 like last week, and I don't feel like I've got everything quite figured out. And you never really do. It's not like I expect to like hit like 25 and be like, yes, I understand being an adult, but at least a little bit better grasp because I want to be able to give our future kids like the best life they can have. And I feel like having a father who'd be more prepared to teach them is like the key to that. Yeah.
And then for me, so originally we were planning on having a kid like this fall. Like that was, I wanted to get pregnant in like October and then pop a baby out during like the beginning of next summer when my mom would be, because my mom works in the school system, so she'd be on summer break, so I could have my mom there, and my sister's pregnant right now, so it would have just been like a great thing. It would have been a great time.
That felt through real quick.
But when I started studying how much money it took to have a kid and different kind, like did I want to have the birth at home? Did I want to have a midwife? Did I want to go to a birthing center or a hospital? And I started looking into it. I started looking more into the finances, like he said, of how much it would be. And so I've made for myself like a goal of an X amount of dollars. It's $5,000. I want to have around $5,000 in our bank account just for the birth. So not for like the other stuff that he said. I want to have just that money for when we go in to go have the baby. So in case if there's any emergencies, we have a good amount of money to go spend on that. Because from the studying I've done so far, that seems like a pretty like middle ground amount of money. But I realized that we weren't ready to have kids yet when we started looking at all the things that we needed to have to make our life good. Like we don't have a working car right now, and our mattress is real old, and he's been sleeping on the couch because his side of the bed is like horrendous, like the springs are coming through. Our bed frame isn't bed frame, it's like plies of wood on a metal rectangle. And there's just a lot of things that we need to have for ourselves to make sure that we are good, functioning, happy humans before we can try to go have a kid. Because I don't want to like have a kid right now and then be like, oh, well, I don't have a car and mom and dad can't get enough sleep because the bed sucks.
Sorry, Timmy, you don't get to eat this week. We need a mattress.
Yeah, so I just want to make sure that we have all of that in line. So making sure that we have everything together. So going to school, getting that out of the way, and trying to just get life together like he said. Because I feel like we're ready to be parents, but I want to make sure that physically we're ready to have parents, and he wants to make sure mentally that we're ready. So we're balancing each other out, I guess. Balance.
Perfectly balanced. As all things should be.
All right. So I think that's the end of it, right?
Yep, that is all the questions.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you so much for everyone that asked our questions again. If you haven't, go follow us down on all our social media. It's down below. And
don't forget, leave a like, comment, subscribe, share the video if you enjoyed it. Tell your friends.
Yeah, and if you guys have any other questions, put them down in the questions down or the comments down below. Hit us up on like Instagram. We'll chit chat, and I think that's it. So bye.